Okay, just to follow up my video on everything about GLP-1 agonists, I just want to give you an idea of the dosing schedule and the costs of Ozempic, Mounjaro and Wegovy in Australia. So we'll start with Ozempic, which is semaglutide, and you can see here that you start on 0.25 milligrams for the first 4 weeks weekly, and then you move up to 0.5 milligrams once weekly, again for at least 4 weeks. So that's the dose that you sort of will plateau on for a little while and make sure that you are getting some results, but also tolerating the dose increase. And then you can increase up to the 1 milligram once weekly, again for at least 4 weeks, if you need additional effect. So either blood sugar control, or as we said, we're moving into that lipolytic stage of being on these medications. So we sort of need to have to increase the dose. And then you can have the 2 milligram if again you need increased effect and you're tolerating the doses. Don't go and jump up on your own accord. You will end up very sick, and it's definitely not recommended. Now, if we're looking at the cost of the Ozempic, it is under the PBS for type 2 diabetics, where it is definitely very affordable. But if we're looking at a private prescription, which is currently the only thing available for bariatric medicine use, we're looking at the price of around $140 to $150. Now, that is for the 1.34 milligram per ml pen. So we are only going to get, now you've got 3 mils of that. So you are going to get at the 0.25 dose, you're going to get quite a few uses out of this. So if you think of 0.25 milligrams, that will use up not even a mil of your medication, okay? And then you'll be able to increase up to the 0.5 milligram, and it's from that point on that we will then look at, and I'll see if we've got a price of the 1 milligram pen. Let's have a look. Ranging up to probably around $200 per pen. Okay, so Ozempic is probably the cheapest of all of the GLP-1 agonists. We'll move into the Mounjaro, looking at the dosing schedule. Again, we are going to do 4 weeks on our starting dose, move up to our 2.5 milligrams. I'm sorry, to 5 milligrams. And this can be your maintenance dose. It says you can stick to 2.5 milligrams as a maintenance dose, but you definitely want to be having an effect. Otherwise, you are just going to have to increase. Again, we're moving up 7.5 to 10 milligrams, 12.5, 15 milligrams for full effect, slowly titrating up. If we're looking at the cost of this, the quick pen, which is the one that is available and shouldn't have any demand or supply, issues, you can see that a 2.5 milligram pen is $279, okay, and there's temporarily low stock online. So you are really going to be fighting competition to get these treatments when it comes to using them for weight loss, because everyone wants them. As you know, I think I could almost say it is a quick fix, but it is not a sustained fix, as we've definitely talked about and covered in our previous talk. If we're looking at the 15 milligram quick pen, we're all the way up, as I said, close to that $700 mark. This is a great idea if you are staying on those low doses, because if you are educated on how to use the click system, you can give yourself the low doses, like the 2.5 or 5 milligram doses up here, and you can get a pen to last a little bit longer. So it ends up being cheaper than buying the lower dose pens after that first week. Moving on to the Wegovy dosing schedule, which I think I've got here. Okay, we're starting on, again, a low dose, 0.25, 4 weeks, moving up to 0.5, and it shows you when to request the next pen. and then again 1.7, and a final dose of 2.4 milligrams. Okay. It says here you can stay on your current dose for longer than 4 weeks if you're experiencing side effects or you're happy with your weight loss on that dose, even though you'll lose most weight on the maintenance dose. Okay, and always check in with your doctor if you have any questions or concerns about side effects. That will be the same for each and every category of these medications. Looking into the cost of the Wegovy 0.25 milligrams, which is that lowest dose, we're looking at around the $250 mark, and that naturally will go up with your increased doses. So this is just to give you a bit of an indication of the dosing schedules for each of these medications, as well as the costs that you're going to be budgeting for. And I think it's really important to be fully aware of what you're going to be budgeting for, rather than go into a commitment that you can't sustain. Okay. So hopefully you got a little bit of information, crucial information, as an add-on from my last video. So happy decision making. Ask me questions and I will hopefully be able to answer them for you. Bye for now.